Okay, so for this work, what we're going to do is we're going to be writing our code in a Google Colab, but this should work with any kind of Jupyter notebook. But we're going to use Google Colab. And Google Colab, you can also use Deep Note, by the way, also. I consider them as well. But anyway, Google Colab, it's a collaborative data science Python notebook, and it makes running these kind of reproducible experiments very easy. So let's start by getting you a ChatGPT API. So you'd start by going to openai.com, and in openai.com, select API. And then from API, let's go ahead. You would either sign up or log in. So once you go to sign up, it's going to ask you to do some validations, maybe a CAPTCHA. I don't quite remember honestly, but anyway, we're going to sign in. I'm going to continue with Google. Okay. So this is where we would go over here to where it says personal. And by the way, I would actually get this ChatGPT API also. If I were you, I would definitely get this. So go over to personal, go over to personal, and you'll see an option that says view API keys. All right, go to view API keys. And from here, what you would do is you would create a new secret key. I happen to have one out here that I'm using. Okay, so this API key, you want to think of this as, frankly, you want to think of this as your password. So you want to protect this API key, but you would create a new secret key. Okay. I'm not going to use this key. I'm going to use the key I already have. But once you want to make sure you copy this, save this somewhere, because once you click OK, you can never see that key again. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this key. Okay, so make sure that you have saved your key somewhere because you'll never be able to view it again. You'd have to go back in and create a new key after that. So at this point, I'm assuming that you have your OpenAI API key. So from there, what we would do is we would go, in this case, I'm going to go into Google Colab. I'm going to launch a new notebook in Google Colab, new notebook. And I'm going to start by doing a pip install OpenAI. Pip install OpenAI. We'll give this a second to run. Okay, so it looks like it took 22 seconds to run here. So let me add a new code block underneath this. And here is the magic here. From here, let's import OpenAI, and we're going to need to use our key here. OpenAI.API key equals, and just in double quotes, put your key in there. Okay, that's it for that. So underneath here, and by the way, there's ways that you can mask your key, obviously. I'm just showing you. This is a kind of getting started quickly guide, so to speak here. So I have installed OpenAI. I've imported OpenAI, and I've defined my key. So now that we have that, now let's go in here and ask AI some questions. Ask ChatGPT some questions. So what I'm going to do is, what is the pandas library? Give me some real world examples. Okay, so this is what the code looks like. So I'm going to call this completion, or maybe I'll call it Chat GPT, even though it's GPT-3 technically. I'm gonna call it ChatGPT in anticipation of getting the ChatGPT APIs, but we'll call it ChatGPT. To call it, we have to define the model. So here's the thing. By default, use the Text DaVinci 3 model. If it's a natural language question, just use the Text DaVinci 3 model. And the prompt, this is whatever you would put in from the command line. Okay? Comma. And this is the length of the response, right? What's the max length of the response? Okay, then you just print out the response. That's it. So if we run that, this is calling the GPT-3 Text DaVinci 3 model. Here's the response right here. The Pandas library is an open source Python library for analytics, manipulation, blah, blah, blah. And these are the real world examples that I asked it for. Okay. So I'm going to stop right here. Again, install OpenAI, pip install OpenAI, number one. Import OpenAI, define the key. After you've defined your key, then with this command right here, you can have any response that you want. And I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. The idea is that as you go in and start to analyze your data and clean your data, build models, you'll have access to ChatGPT right here inside of your notebook. And from here, you can ask it questions, right? Conceptual questions, code questions, things like that. I'll show you how to do that in the process in the next video. I just wanted you to get your OpenAI key and make one successful call to the API. My name is Dr. Ernesto Lee, Miami-Dade College. Thank you very much.